So normally when I do these, I start with the winning team, but today I'm starting with the Bills because I've got to say, I do not agree with that final play call one bit. Like, I understand the concept of putting the ball in your best player's hands, but that just didn't seem like the right situation. The Titans' defensive line is much improved from last year. That didn't look like the correct quarterback sneak to run. I would have preferred to run it to the right, but you also could have just easily played for the tie. There was no shame in going into overtime. I understand the concept of putting the ball in your best player's hands, who is Josh Allen, but I just didn't like it there. But aside from that, I think Allen played a pretty good game. Aside from that last play and a really bad interception he had early on, pretty good game by Allen. And the Titans offense gave the Bills defense a run for their money tonight. It was the first time the Bills defense has given up more than 23 points all season. And you know, Titans offense, it could be pretty good, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And I think I can officially say this: Brian Daboll is probably my favorite head coaching candidate. I didn't really like him last offseason because it was really the only first time he had a good offense. But now that I'm seeing he can have consistently good offenses, I'm really liking him for a head coaching candidate. I mean, obviously the only team without a head coach right now are the Raiders. But Bills, I wouldn't worry about this game. I know you guys lost, but it's I think the bad decision making is really what led to this loss. It's just that last play. Had you gone to overtime, chances of winning this game would have been much higher in my opinion. Now granted, coin toss and all that affects that, but I don't think this was a horrible loss for the Bills, and they really shouldn't hang their head on it for too long. So going into tonight's game, Derrick Henry to the Bills was like what Lamar Jackson used to be to the Chiefs. Struggled to find success against them. But that all changed tonight. Henry played so well tonight. His previous 3 games against the Buffalo Bills, he hadn't reached over 80 yards. Tonight, he has over 140 yards and 3 touchdowns against the #1 defense in the NFL. That was insane, and Derrick Henry just continues to be one of the best, or not one of the best running back in the league. And I've kind of noticed this over the past couple of weeks. Ryan Tannehill hasn't been looking as sharp as he has the past couple of seasons. I'm not sure if that's because of Arthur Smith leaving and he's learning a new system, but or if it has something to do with the new contract. But Ryan Tannehill, not really looking all too good right now. I wouldn't be too worried about him yet. I'll still give him a little bit of time, but Ryan Tannehill definitely isn't looking like the quarterback we saw in 2019 and 2018. And also, Titans, I kind of feel bad for them. Even though they got the win, they suffered a couple of losses. Taylor Lewan had a very scary head injury early on in the game. He was out. Caleb Farley had a leg injury. He's now out. Julio Jones ended up not being able to play for the last about like half of quarter because he's out. And injuries are just taking such a huge toll on this team, which sucks because if this team is fully healthy, in my opinion, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. But I mean, injuries are the biggest test to NFL teams because that shows how good your depth is. And the Titans, I thought they were one of the best teams, but they've really been up and down. I mean, they lost to a really bad Jets team, but they beat a really good Bills team. It's been an up and down season for them, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the rest of the season unfolds for the Titans. If they can get fully healthy, I think they can be a really good team.